It's time for the main event.
Excuse me?
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
So I sent you some audio today. Did you get it?
No, you did not. You lie.
It's funny. Whenever I send you anything early in the day, I'm always anxious because I'm like, if I send him too early, he's going to tell me he didn't receive it. But at 3:54 p.m. today. 3:54. Let me see. No, not that time.
No.
I sent it to you at, here it is. I sent it to you at 12:14 p.m. today. 6 hours ago. Yep.
Surprised you're even awake at that point.
Do you want me to resend it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got it. I did not see it.
What's the point of my sending you audio if you're not going to bother opening the emails from me? What's the point?
During the day, I'm on 2 separate email machines. So I'm on this email machine during the day, and every now and then I will send you an email from that email machine, which probably confuses you. But when you send it to that email account, I really don't look at that until we get ready to go on the air.
Well, clearly you didn't look at it because you didn't even know I sent you anything.
You know how many emails I get between noon and now? A gazillion. I didn't go back. Sorry.
Isn't mine the most important? Shouldn't you have like some sort of folder that mine goes into that you know it's coming from me? I mean, you get like stuff for penis enlargement. You don't need that right now. You need that later.
I'll tell you what I got. I got an email from Donald Trump Jr. I got an email from Team Trump. They have a brand new item for me.
Yeah, you know what the item is?
I don't know what the item is.
It went viral yesterday on Twitter. People are pissed.
Brand new. It's welcome.
It's a T-shirt. Nope, they have a T-shirt. This is vile. I'm sorry. And I feel bad because when I was at WR, we had all the Trumps on the show all the time, and they seem like we didn't know them yet, but now we realize this is so vile. And talk about the timing of this is so awful. Donald Trump Jr. has a new T-shirt that he's trying to sell and make money off of that says guns don't kill people, Alec Baldwin kills people.
No, they do not have that.
100%.
No, they do not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was all over Twitter yesterday, and I was like, this has to be a joke. There's no way this is real. But yeah, way to capitalize on, and way too soon. Way too soon. Not that you should ever do that. It's always
going to be too soon because somebody died.
Right.
If he just shot the gun and it went into a wall, then come out with that joke. But somebody died.
Right.
No, they sent me the email that I got. They're offering me this. So this I might buy. So I guess you put this in front of your house. When people come up to ring your doorbell, it says, don't blame this family. We voted for Trump. And I just think that's funny.
That is kind of funny.
I guarantee I could give it to my neighbor. He would love that. It would be the favorite thing ever. You
should Photoshop out the T. Don't blame this family. We voted for Rump. For
Rump?
Yeah, you love ass.
Oh, no. I'm going to buy this for your boyfriend, and you have to put it in front of your house. He would love that for Christmas.
You know what? I want to put. We're not allowed to have welcome mats in our hallways.
It's that's your excuse?
Yeah, no. It's against the rules of the building. It's funny. Somebody put a welcome mat out, and the building went nuts, and they sent notes, and people were calling downstairs. You would think that somebody had an arsenal of weapons, left an AK-47 leaning on their door. But it was like a welcome mat that said something silly like, a good pug lives here or something like that. And the building went berserk. They're like, you need to read your bylaws. Yeah, it was scandal. So there's, as much as I'd love to have a welcome mat like that because it would be hilarious. Yeah, no, I'd have a problem.
Yeah, see, that's why I don't get your email, because I get so many emails, not only from Donald, from his kids, and now Team Trump. So there are 3 now that I get from Trump, and I could easily go in and say, take me off your list.
No, why would you? It's hilarious.
It's great show prep for us. So
of course.
So that's the hell you have to live with. I get all these Trump emails, and yours gets buried. Sorry.
Once again, Trump is in my way.
Yeah, sorry. I can't bring to myself to say unsubscribe because I enjoy them.
Okay, so I have two clips for you today, and they're both from the UK, and they're both from one is a radio/television interview, and the other is a UK game show. So we're just going to do like a little segment right now about TV in the UK. That's
the open.
I don't know. I guess so. You didn't make me one, so.
What do they call it in the UK? Tube? No. They call it the Telly.
The Telly.
There you go. We'll call it Clips from the Telly.
Clips from the Telly.
So, you want me to play Mike Graham
yes,
here?
Please.
All right. So this is the first clip from the Telly. And this is a guy named Mike Graham.
Okay, so here's what I need to explain to you about this before you play it. So there is a activist group who is trying to raise awareness about climate change. And what they've been doing is they've been gluing themselves to things. And they're doing that just to get awareness and attention and that kind of thing. So the first question Mike Graham asks is, what have you glued yourself to? You might not understand like why he's asking that. It's a very inside baseball kind of thing.
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hello. What are you glued to, Cameron?
Just your screen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately? What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can.
No. No.
They're just staring at each other right now.
Cheerio. That was Cameron.
And that's it. It's over. That's the whole interview. He just didn't want to. He didn't like what the guy had to say. He didn't really want to get into it with him. The guy started out from the very beginning, like, unfortunately, I'm here with you because my organization has set up this interview, and I'm kind of stuck talking to you. But yeah, so that's the whole interview. That was the whole thing. And here's the funniest part about it: the station that has that Mike Graham guy, they posted that clip. They're proud of that.
No, they did not. This is a best of. It's like when we drive around and we listen to radio stations and they play a clip from their morning show and we say, that was the best you could find. That was it. That's the highlight of the day was that clip.
That was the best thing that happened today. And the station is the one who put that clip out. That embarrassing clip. It was so awkward and so weird. And at that one point where they're just both sitting there staring at each other because the interviewer has nothing else to ask, and the guy, they didn't really engage in anything. They didn't really get very far. And the idea that, no, you can grow concrete. What?
No, concrete's not, it's not
organic. You can't grow concrete. So, of course, that went viral in the UK because it was such a ridiculous interview, and people were having fun with the idea of concrete. And it's like somebody posted like one of those cherry pickers with a guy in it working on a building. And they said, look, a giraffe in the wild.
Growing concrete.
So that's clip number one. Here's clip number two. Now, I don't know if you know much about Greek poetry, Greek philosophy. Do you know anything about Homer?
Simpson?
No. He's an author. He's a Greek author. He wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Shut up.
Helen of Troy, very famous. Stuff that you probably, well, not you, but the rest of us had to read this stuff in school. So he was writing around 750 BC.
Shut up.
Okay. Ancient Greek literature, very, very famous Greek literature. So there's a chat show. Doesn't matter what the name of it is. There's a chat show where they ask trivia questions and you have to answer. And the trivia questions are kind of sophisticated. So they ask a question about the Greek philosopher Homer, but both contestants seem very confused.
In his epic poems, Homer often refers to nectar as the drink of the gods and which other substance as their food.
All right. Nectar, the drink of the gods.
Mm-hmm.
What other substance as their food? I have no clue.
I know he likes donuts. I think I'll go with donuts, please, Ben. You're a stupid head.
Did he say donuts?
He did say donuts, and the look on the host's face, the Quizmaster guy face, is precious. He's just like, what?
No, Homer likes donuts.
Donut.
Yeah, he thinks he means Homer Simpson and not Homer.
Ben.
Okay. Could have passed this one over to Lindsay. Lindsay,
I would have said donuts as well.
You'd have got
Beer and donuts, yeah.
donuts
Right
as
home
well.
straight.
Beer and donuts is her answer.
You're a stupid head.
She's going to agree with him and say donuts.
Yeah. So the one guy is like, Homer? No, Homer liked donuts. And she's like, well, beer and donuts.
They're not wrong. They didn't say his last name. They said Homer. Does the Homer guy have a last name?
No, it's just Homer like Madonna.
Okay.
Or like,
But they're not wrong. Homer
Halsey.
likes donuts.
Right, but that's Homer Simpson. This is Homer the poet. By the way, the answer was ambrosia. It's nectar of the gods, and then the food was ambrosia.
Did you know that before this?
Yes, because I'm not a fucking moron.
Ambrosia didn't even make sense.
It does if
that
you
was
know.
a band in the 80s. It's not food. That doesn't make any sense.
Ambrosia,
I think donuts makes more sense.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, like, the guy really thought it was Homer Simpson. Everyone was like, "Oh, this idiot," and then they go to the girl, and she's like, "Yeah, beer and donuts." like the fact that she was like right on board with the Homer Simpson thing. So that too has gone viral because whenever someone says something dumb, they're smarter than we are in the UK. Like, it's funny, except for Jeopardy, most of our game shows are stuff like say the color red.
Or spell red. Yeah. Things like that.
Spell the color red. That's our game shows. So they're a lot smarter there because that's the fact that was even a question on the game show that they thought that people would know the answer.
Yeah. Questions up until the $2,000 question on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire are pretty easy. They don't ask Homer questions.
Yeah, there's stuff like, is a German Shepherd A dog,
right.
B giraffe, C elephant, or D food?
Mm-hmm. When you watch Jeopardy, that's real questions.
Yeah, those are hard. Every once in a while, I can run a category. Like, they've been doing like rap and hip hop. They'll do like Jay-Z lyrics. I'm like, got this.
Mm-hmm. Then you just sit down the rest of the game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because the next thing is like, ancient philosophy. I'm like, okay, I'm out.
Yeah. I watch it every now and then because I think if you watch Jeopardy, it helps your brain.
Uh-huh.
So I watch it, and if I know like on answer, I get all happy.
on answer.
If I know answer, then I get all happy that I'm the smartest man. If I get Final Jeopardy, forget about it. I'm the smartest man in the world.
The thing that makes me mad is my boyfriend is really smart. Whenever we watch Jeopardy, he just sits there and he's like, Half-Life, Blue, the submarines, Life Without, whatever. He just goes, he knows everything. He knows it so well. I'm like, you have to take the test and get on Jeopardy and go make us money. What are you doing sitting here on the couch?
Yeah.
Get off the couch. I don't care who the host is.
You're wasting me money, not making me money.
Exactly. He knows every single answer. He's really smart. He knows lots of trivia, lots of smart stuff. He was like a Shakespeare guy in his day. Like, he knows. It's amazing how much stuff he knows. But he's like, no, I'd be too nervous on camera. I'm like, get over your nerves. Go make us money. Take some Valium. Go do the show. Exactly.
And instead of watching MASH while we do this radio show, go ahead and submit to Jeopardy.
Oh, shit, it's upgrade.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
I don't know if you've ever been to Olive Garden. There's no reason for you to go to Olive Garden.
Well, don't make me sound like a snob. The reason I don't go to Olive Garden is because I can't have pasta because I have celiacs. I don't eat meat because I've been a vegetarian my entire... I'm weird with food. So it's not that I don't go to Olive Garden because I'm a snob. I don't go to Olive Garden because there's just nothing on the menu that I could eat and not get sick afterwards.
No, you don't go to Olive Garden because you live in New York. And if you live in New York City, there's no reason you should be shot to death if you go to an Olive Garden instead of going to Little Italy and getting real food.
Right. And there's a Coppola's right in my neighborhood, like Francis Ford Coppola's. And they have amazing Italian food. They do a gluten-free pasta that I can have there. They don't have gluten-free pasta at Olive Garden. At least last time I went, they didn't have it.
No, the food I had in Little Italy was next level. So there's no way you can go to Little Italy and go, let's go to Olive Garden. It just doesn't happen that way. Olive Garden.
Someone took me to Rayo's. I mean, that was it. It's hands down the greatest Italian food in the world. I will never go into a Pizza Hut or an Olive Garden ever again because we got Rayo's here.
Yeah, and every time I would drive by a Domino's, I would yell at them and say, why are you here? Do you not know next door is the best pizza you've ever tasted in your life? Right next. And people still go to Domino's. I don't know why. So, but Olive Garden is outside of New York City, is a famous place. There's always a line to get into the place. And it's pretty much fast food, Italian fast food.
It's not really fast food, though.
I call it Italian fast food.
And David Steele says the food doesn't even look good in the commercials for Olive Garden.
I don't even know if there is an Olive Garden on Long Island. If there is,
we didn't see any. Yeah, we were there.
Yeah. So, but the waiters and waitresses are talking now. The worst thing about being at an Olive Garden for them.
Oh, what is it?
So the things that they absolutely hate about Olive Garden.
Oh, great. Let's hear it.
The absolute number one worst thing was never-ending pasta bowl. It was a promotion they had where you walk in, it's $9. You can eat all the pasta you want till your head pops off.
Was it a pasta bar where you go up and take it yourself, or the waiters have to bring it to you?
They have to bring it to you. So you finish one plate, they bring you another plate, then they bring you another plate. They're talking about people would sit there for 3 hours eating this crap. Somebody would even throw up and continue to eat.
Just to get their money's worth.
So if it's $9.90 or it was $7.99. So $7.99, they're going to give you a $10 tip and say that's a 30% tip.
Right. That's right.
So they just ran back and forth for 3 hours for $3.
And are the drinks bottomless as well?
The drinks, I don't know if they were or not, but the salad's now unlimited. So they still have unlimited salad and breadsticks. So people...
Who's having unlimited salad? Who? Who's
the salads are actually pretty good. I once brought a table of salad to their table. One guy dumped the whole salad bowl on their plate and said, "I'll take more, please." So just eating nonstop salad.
Okay.
So yeah, anything labeled as endless is truly endless. So people will stuff themselves until they are literally sick. They say the kitchen at Olive Garden, the cleanest kitchen they've ever seen.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Phew.
Yeah. So they walk in and they go, "What? I wasn't expecting this." But yeah, so clean. Also, the employees aren't allowed to eat any breadsticks.
Because?
They churn them out so fast. Because they're unlimited breadsticks. So and the breadsticks are just so freaking good. So there's always breadsticks coming out. So that's the worst part, is you have to carry these things out. They smell so good, and you can't have one.
You're not allowed to have any, right? Which makes sense, because I worked in a Mexican restaurant and they would make their own chips. Mm-hmm. And it was the same thing where you would bring a bowl of chips and then turn around and they'd be like, "Can we have more chips, please?" And then you had to go to where they were making the chips, and we couldn't eat any of them because if we ate, they wouldn't be enough for the customers, because they really went through the chips and salsa like crazy.
The other unlimited thing they have, unlimited soup. And soup is a pain in the ass because it takes prep time to make the soup, and the server has to do that. It's
Yep.
not something the chef does, the server does. So it's unlimited soup. So every time they want another bowl of soup, they have to go back and prep that.
I will tell you, as a former server, that specifically soup. So the way they would serve it, you had to get a plate that had a doily on it. You had to already have the doilies on the plate. So you had a stack of plate, doily, plate, doily, plate, doily. So you had to make sure the doily was on there nice. And then you put the bowl on top. And the reason why you do the doily is so it doesn't move around. So it stays in place. You can bring it over. And then some of the soups were in parts. Like if there was corn soup, they had the corn broth and then the corn separate, and you had to put them together yourself. And then there was a little bowl to garnish it. So that's just one bowl that you're doing that with. Now imagine you have a table of 8 and you got to sit there and put together 8 soups, you know?
And everybody has unlimited soup at that table. You're never leaving. One waiter said, I once saw a customer take out a part of her weave and put it in her pasta. She then told me she found it in there and wanted her meal comped.
No, get out of here.
Yeah, so there's a hair in here. That looks like your hair. No, it's hair.
Yeah, it's pink and yours is pink. And we have 4 bald guys in the kitchen right now.
So that's your hair. We're not giving that to you for free. It doesn't happen too often, but customers do like to steal the cheese graters.
Really?
Yeah, they're kind of expensive and they want the at-home Olive Garden experience, so they steal the cheese graters.
Do they leave the cheese grater at your table? Because most restaurants, you come over and you grate the cheese and then you bring it back to the kitchen. You don't leave it there at the table.
No, I guess because if you want a lot of cheese, they just say, here, you do it. Have fun.
Here, you do it. Okay.
Coffee is another most annoying thing to serve. You have to get a pitcher to fill it up full of coffee, get a cup, saucer, spoon, and a little cup with cream, and it grabs the sugar. It just takes forever.
Yeah, that's every restaurant. Like every restaurant, the coffee situation. And then if you also offer cappuccinos or lattes, those take a while to make as well. Those are not easy to make, and that takes some time. And what sucks is if you're a server and you have to do your own cappuccinos and you have like 8 tables and you're there making like 5 cappuccinos, the rest of the tables are like, what the hell happened to her? Where'd she go?
If you make a complaint and given a gift card by the restaurant, the gift card actually looks different than a standard gift card that you purchase as a gift. So this is because you can have just people complaining and getting nonstop gift cards, and they know who you are.
So the gift card for complainers is like, let's say red, whereas a regular gift card is white. So if someone hands you a red gift card, you're just like, whoa, geeks.
Yeah,
okay,
so
this person's not tipping me.
When they sit down, they give you that. Yeah, oh, God.
But why don't they have a salad bar and a soup bar? And I know they can't now because of COVID. But before COVID, they should have had it where you go take it yourself. I mean, I like that about what was that? The Golden Corral. It's great. You just pay something, they hand you a plate, and you're on your own. I love that.
Yeah, they're so happy they don't have that anymore. The Golden Corral, I can imagine. There's still Golden Corrals in the South, and you drive by and they're packed. People still go. I don't get that at all. How you can walk into a buffet now and stand in line. People do it.
No, they outlawed buffets in New York at the beginning of COVID because they were like, everyone here's dying, no more buffets. That's the first thing I got rid of.
Yeah, no, you can't do that in the South because we would all starve.
Right.
We're like, what? No buffets anymore? I don't know how to eat. Shit, I got to go to Olive Garden and have them bring me salad. I don't know. No, there's a buffet on every street corner here.
My favorite.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Excellent choice.
IMDB has rated the greatest horror films of all time. I'm not going to give you the whole list because it's a long list. We'll just do the top 15. But this is the top 15 horror films according to the IMDb ratings of 7.9 out of 10 and higher. Because 7.9 in IMDb world is really good. Like nobody gets anything that high. It's also based on 25,000 viewer reviews. Okay. So the number 15 film. Now I'm just warning you right now. Oddly enough, a lot of these films are older films. It's not like it's, there's not a lot of current stuff on here. There's some, but interesting. Number 15 on the list is from 1968. It's George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, which has 7.9 stars. This is the movie about a group of people in Pennsylvania who are seeking safety in an old farmhouse. And then suddenly, all these zombies come out of nowhere and they ravage them.
There's a new TV show out now, George Romero, Day of the Dead, or whatever it's called. And it's a TV show on sci-fi. It's actually really good.
Is it Dawn of the Dead?
Dawn of the Dead. There you go. So it's kind of like The Walking Dead, but I think better. In this one, they actually call zombies zombies.
What do you mean? As opposed to what?
Walkers. That's what I hated about The Walking Dead and all the other movies like World War Z and all that. They would call them something else. No, they're zombies.
Right.
And in this one, if a zombie bites you, you don't turn into a zombie.
You die.
No, you have to die before you become a zombie. So just because a zombie bites you doesn't mean you're going to turn into a zombie because you haven't died yet. I think it's brilliant.
So if a zombie bites you, what happens to you?
I mean, you can still keep living and make sure the blood doesn't kill you or whatever. It doesn't fall out of your body, but you don't instantly turn into a zombie like The Walking Dead. The minute the zombie bites you, you're going to die.
I was thinking about The Walking Dead just the other day. Like the thing that I really hated about it is so if one person gets bit by a zombie and they're going to turn into a zombie, it happens immediately unless it's like Carl. Like Carl took like an entire episode to die.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like some of them took like days to die and others died within minutes. They turned within like minutes. It's like, it has to be one or the other. It can't be different for everybody. That's just not how it works.
Yeah. And this one, the zombies actually run, which I never understood why zombies can't run. Why can't zombies run? This one, zombies run. You can cut off a zombie's head. The zombie will still be coming after you.
I love that.
Yeah. Everything that was wrong about The Walking Dead is right with this show.
Okay, that's good. I'll try it. What's interesting about Night of the Living Dead is it's a black and white film. It was made for under $150,000, so they had to do everything on the cheap. And since the film was in black and white, it was expensive to get like fake blood, so they used chocolate syrup because it was black and white. It looks like blood on camera. You don't know the difference. Yeah, so everybody had chocolate syrup all over them. Like it was funny. It was like really sticky and gross, and everybody had a shower later. It was just pretty gross. Funny enough, number 14 on the list is 1978's Dawn of the Dead.
There you go.
Yeah, another George Romero. Now, the movie version is zombies, again, happens in Philadelphia. A SWAT team is there. There's a traffic reporter, his television executive girlfriend. They all seek protection in a shopping mall. Is that what happens on the TV series version?
No, they're just everywhere.
Okay.
They're like squirrels. They're everywhere.
Okay.
And it happens in a funeral home, and then the where you put the dead bodies in the drawers and stuff. Then they wake up and they start shaking. It's pretty cool.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I'll check that out. Number 13, Shaun of the Dead. That's Edgar Wright. He won awards for his 2017 film Baby Driver, and this is the one that Simon Pegg was in. Remember, they did like a whole bunch of movies.
Simon Pegg movies.
Yeah, a whole bunch of. So, this one is really, really good. I love this one, the Edgar Wright one. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. Forget about the fact that it's a horror film. This is probably one of my favorite films ever. Let the Right One In. It's from 2008. This is number 12 on the list of the best horror films of all time. This is the Swedish horror film based on a novel of the same name where a 12-year-old boy who is bullied falls for this weird girl who turns out to be a vampire, and she helps him get revenge.
Nice.
But it's like a love story as well, and because it's Swedish, it's got that like odd feel to it, but it's really cool. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
You like vampires.
I prefer a vampire to a zombie, if I'm being honest.
And I like the zombie more than the vampire.
Yeah, not me. I like a vampire. Rosemary's Baby, 1968, written directed by Roman Polanski, and Rosemary played by Mia Farrow. This pregnant woman believes that her elder neighbors are a part of a satanic cult and are grooming her to use her baby in the ritual. I hated that movie. I'm sorry. I know people love it.
I started it maybe 3 or 4 times. I could just never get past the first half an hour. I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah, well, that's number 11 on this list. Boring. Also, The Exorcist is number 10 on the list. 8 out of 10 stars. I know that this was supposed to be like an iconic movie, but I feel like at this point, we all know all the scenes, and it seems it's like a parody. It doesn't feel like, it's not frightening anymore. Don't you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going back and watching it, but when I did watch it, it was kind of scary. And Linda Blair is a complete bitch. So we have that in the back of our head. Just personally, we know her, and she's not a nice person at all. So I think that weighs the movie part of you more than you know. Right.
So we had done an interview with Linda Blair where they were, I guess it was the 25th anniversary or whatever it was of Exorcist, and she was out there promoting it. She was so awful. And thank God we did a pre-interview with her. Like we did a pre-tape with her, so it wasn't live. This is when we were doing our syndicated show, our live syndicated show, but we pre-taped the interview with her. She was so nasty and it was so bad that we chose not to air it, but yet we threatened the audience every time. If we did a caller topic and they didn't call in, we would go Linda Blair or dead air.
Yep. We're going to play it.
That was our big threat.
I have it queued up. We could play it at any time.
Yeah. Either we're going to sit here and not talk, or we're going to play Linda Blair for you, but you're really going to hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she was pretty awful.
I should dig that up.
You should. It might be time to play Linda Blair and not dead air.
I found the Louis C.K. interview last night.
Oh, why don't we play that?
Yeah, we might do that tonight after this. So if you're sticking around, you could hear that.
I'd like for us to do the Louis C.K. interview while we are on the air so we can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. Yeah, I think you should dig it up. Okay, so this is interesting. This is number 9 on the list. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Don't know that.
I don't know this one either, but I got to tell you, it sounds great. 8.1 out of 10 stars. Listen to this. It's a silent German horror film about a deranged hypnotist who exploits somebody with a sleep disorder to get them to murder people.
Nice.
That sounds awesome. And the fact that it's 1920, it's already creepy.
Is it a talkie though? Or is it one of those?
No, it's a silent. I said it's a silent German horror film.
I can't deal with silent movies.
That's why it's going to be really creepy. I'm telling you, that's I'm going to try to dig that one up and see if I can. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, it's called 1920. I'm going to try and find that. This is one of my boyfriend's favorites. I don't like this movie that much. Diabolique, 1955, a French psychological horror thriller about a woman and her husband's lover who plot to murder a man. However, when the crime is completed, the body vanishes and a series of weird events transpire.
Don't know that one.
I don't know. My boyfriend loves it. He says it's one of his favorites. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane from 1962 is number 7.
These are a lot of old movies.
I know. This is Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, very famous. Yeah, in an antique Hollywood home, an aged former child star terrorizes her paraplegic sister, also a former movie star. So that's kind of a famous movie. The Thing from 1982, not the first one, the 1982 version. It's John Carpenter who did all the Halloween movies. This is 8.1 out of 10 stars.
It's one where the alien comes out in Thing and whatever.
Yes. This is about a team conducting research in Antarctica.
Yep.
And there's a shape-shifting alien that begins to assume the appearance of their victims. So it kills the person, then it looks like the person. And it stars Kurt Russell.
Right. I went back and tried to watch that. It didn't stand up.
Oh, it doesn't stand up?
Doesn't stand up.
Okay. Here's a more modern movie I never heard of. This one's called The Blue Elephant. It's number 5 on the list of the greatest horror films of all time, according to IMDb ratings. This is fellow viewers who are rating this. People loved The Blue Elephant from 2014. It's an Egyptian drama horror mystery set in Cairo about a doctor who, after 5 years of seclusion, comes back to work at a psychiatric hospital where he's in charge of assessing the mental health of the criminally insane, only to discover that one of his friends is one of the patients. And as he tries to help his friend, his life falls apart.
What does that have to do with an elephant?
The blue elephant. I don't know. I guess you got to watch it to find out why.
But if there's no elephant in it, I'm going to be mad.
Number 4 on the list of one of the greatest horror films of all time, according to your fellow viewers, is a movie called Tumbad. It's from 2018. It's a Hindi language mythological period film about a goddess responsible for creating the universe. And I guess she gets mad at people and smites them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. Number 3 on the list is Alien from 1979.
Right.
8.4 out of 10 stars. That's Ridley Scott starring Sigourney Weaver, Yaphet Kotto, Harry Dean Stanton, Ian Holm. You know this one. This is, pretty famous. But here's something interesting you might not know about Alien. And I know this as so I am a one-issue rock fan. I like rock music, but I love The Who. The Who is that's my one band that I have all their albums. I know everything about them. I know the history. I know the songs. You cannot stump me when it comes to The Who. The blue laser lights that were used in the alien ship's egg chamber were borrowed from The Who because the band was testing out the lasers for a stage show in the soundstage next door. And Ridley Scott walked over to see it and was like, hang on a minute, I can use those blue lasers. So The Who was like, have at it.
Nice. The
Interesting,
Who's
right?
lasers. Did not know that.
What do you think number 2 and number 1 are?
Poltergeist and Amityville Horror.
Try again.
Amityville Horror and Poltergeist.
Neither one of those.
Conjuring.
I wish. I love The Conjuring.
Halloween.
I'll give you a hint. I know. I love Halloween. No, number 2 is a movie from 1960 and number 1 is a movie from 1980. Does that help?
60 would be, I have no idea. And 1980, I would say Caddyshack.
I'll give you a hint about the 1960 movie, Alfred Hitchcock.
Psycho.
That's right.
I went to Orlando. This is back in, I think, the early 90s. And I was eating at a restaurant, and you could see Universal Studio from where we were eating. And it was a thunderstorm. And I remember I looked over to the right, and this crack of lightning hit, and there was the Psycho House. And I went, I'm freaking going there tomorrow. I don't care how much it costs to get in, because we went to go to Disney World. We had no idea to go to Universal. Really didn't know about Universal. But I saw that freaking house, and I went, I have to go there.
Number 1, I'll give you a hint. So I told you 1980. Let me also give you the hint of Stephen King.
Oh, is it Cujo?
No.
Christine.
Please, you think Cujo is one of the greatest horror? No, I'll try. Okay, so
Pet Sematary.
Stephen King wrote it. Stanley Kubrick directed it.
Oh, The Shining.
That's right, The Shining. Jack Nicholson, about a writer and recovering alcoholic who becomes an off-season caretaker of an isolated historic hotel with his wife and son Danny, who ends up having The Shining, which are psychic abilities to see horrors that went down in the hotel. So
Amityville was better.
This is about rating. So The Shining, think about this. It has 8.5 out of 10 stars. That is the highest rating any horror film has on IMDb. Nothing's higher. Like, that's how stingy people are with stars on IMDb.
The problem with The Shining, I think, they could have cut out an hour of that movie and it would have been perfect. They didn't edit that movie enough. It was just too long.
Jack Nicholson talks about that movie all the time because people always ask about it. And he says that Shelley Duvall did the greatest work of her career, that she was like, there were moments that she was really genuinely scared and she didn't realize that she had it in her to bring forth what she brought forth. Like she even says that it was one of the greatest roles that she ever played. But what's interesting is there was a lot of dialogue that Jack Nicholson added. So that accounts for why there's so much, extra, because there were moments where it just says, for example, like, Jack's character, he's, stands in amazement. And that's the one where he had the ball and he was playing with the ball. He came up with that himself. Like, he just felt like the guy would be doing stuff. And I didn't know this, but Jack Nicholson used to be something like a carpenter or a woodsman or somebody who used an axe for some reason. So the scene where he goes through the door, they had originally just put like light balsa wood because they figured he would just like knock through it. But he used to do that for a living, and he was more powerful and really angry in the moment that when he was going through the door, here's Johnny, like that thing. They actually had to get a really hard to cut through door because when he first did it, he came like falling out of it because it was like paper.
Like the Kool-Aid Man.
Like the Kool-Aid Man, like, oh yeah. So there's some really interesting trivia about it that now when you look back, and then there's little things like fuck ups that happen. There's a scene where like a lot of shit's going down, but you could see the boom guy in the mirror. You could see him standing there with the microphone like.
I didn't cut that part out.
Yeah, is it lunchtime yet?
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Explain to everybody who BJ Novak is.
All right, so BJ Novak was one of the writers and stars of The Office. And he and Mindy Kaling were writing partners, and they basically helped write a lot of... Now, The Office obviously was based on the Ricky Gervais the UK version, but BJ Novak was like the head writer, like tasked with putting those scripts together for America. So he's very well respected. People love him. He's a really good writer, and he put himself in it. He was also in The Office, but he's more known as a writer than an actor.
But people do know his face. He's been on Letterman.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on TV shows. People know who he is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, so he was on The Office from the very beginning, from 2005 all the way till the end, 2013, and he played Ryan.
And he was recently on the Hulu show The Premise.
Yes, right. Which I think did he also write that as well?
Yeah, I don't know, but many years ago.
Wait, let me just hang on. So just so you know, he's one of those Harvard kids. He came from Harvard, so he's a quirky, weird. I don't know if you know anybody from Harvard, but from specifically the writing and creative teams that come out of Harvard.
Lampoon started.
Yeah, they're all like weird, quirky, brilliant, and they all end up doing this like this crazy. You know who they are. Like you find out their names because they end up being super famous.
Right, and they all started that National Lampoon thing at Harvard and all that. So
exactly.
many years ago, somebody accidentally put a photo of BJ Novak on public domain.
How? What happened?
I don't know. I think he did by accident. At some point, you can go to a website and upload something that you can say anybody can use this for anything. So I guess he did it, or his publicist or somebody when he was in the office uploaded a photo of him and called it public domain. You can use it for anything you want.
Okay.
So now it's used all over the world. So when BJ goes to different parts of the world, he's on everything. His photo is on every store he walks into. He's like, oh, there I am. Because
he's there, like the Gap selling a sweatshirt, like in an ad for
it's
penis enlargement.
Like that. It's like lipstick from. He'll walk in and see face paint, and there's his photo, and then here's cologne. Somebody used it for that. He can't do anything about it because it's public domain.
Right.
So that's the hair clippers. There's his photo.
Oh my God.
Which photo can we use? Let's use that one. Okay, here's another shaver.
It's that one photo over and over, that same photo over and over.
And all these companies are using it. And he says, basically, I could go in and fight this because every time I turn around, there I am. But to me, it's just funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah, of course it is.
It's funny to me that be on a lipstick thing in wherever. It's
one photo, and they keep using it over and over to promote all kinds of things. And if you know who he is and if he's famous, you're like, oh, there's BJ Novak. But it's good that he's making people aware of it because now they know that he's not endorsing the face paint or the razor or whatever. They just took his photo like it's a stock photo they can use.
Yeah, I love that because when you go to the store, you're like, which razor should I? Oh, I'll buy. I know that guy. He uses this razor. I'll buy this. And there's nothing he can do because that one photo was uploaded to public domain.
Wow, that's hilarious. Well, The Office was worldwide, so you know that there's people, in whatever country who are like, oh, look, it's the guy from The Office.
For lipstick in Cologne, in Sweden.
And Cologne.
You get off the airport. There I am for popcorn. Great.
I love that he's not going to pursue it legally, and I love that he just thinks it's funny and he's telling us about it. I think that's super cool.
He says, I'm too amused to do anything about it.
Take this back.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Now, here's something very interesting that you may not know about us. And when I say us, I mean the collective us, all of us. Now, how many of you believe in UFOs? Show of hands.
My hand's up.
Okay, yes, it is. How many people believe in ghosts?
My hand's up.
I know it is.
Chad's hands up.
Chad's hands up. What about ESP?
And I believe in ESPN. Yes.
Do you believe in ESPN?
I believe in ESP also.
Okay, you guys all believe in ESPN. What
Yes.
about ESP? What about...
Sure.
Okay, why not? Well, it might be very interesting.
Bigfoot.
We didn't ask you that, but
Loch
thank you
Ness
very
Monster.
much. Thank you very much for that as well. Yes.
Vampires.
Mothman. Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. I don't know what that is.
Yeti.
Okay, you guys keep going.
Geddy Lee.
Here's what's really interesting. 34% of people in this country believe in ghosts. 34%. It's a pre-Halloween poll that was done by the Associated Press.
That's about a third if I'm doing my math correctly.
Right, so a third of this country believes in ghosts. Now, but here's my question to you. Have you seen one? Have you seen one or have you felt one?
Didn't we see one on the TV screen that one night?
One night we did.
That's right. What was that? That wasn't on Halloween, was it?
No.
That was really
But all of a
freaky.
sudden something came on the TV and it was like you could see this like shadowy woman in the background.
Right, but it wasn't a woman. It was just like a black figure.
No,
it was like a shadow.
It was a woman. You could see her eyes and her hair, but she was real faint and it looked like a ghost.
It was like a negative.
Right.
Right, that's what I mean. So it was like it was like a negative.
I think it was somebody in TV messing with us because we have a direct line there to that TV, but I'm not sure.
Still freaked us out.
Or we saw a ghost. We're not quite sure. We might have seen a ghost.
Right.
So, all right, it's Halloween. Let's hear your ghost stories. 877-6-Cooper if you have a good ghost story for us.
Not a made-up ghost story, one you've actually experienced.
Yeah, exactly. An actual experience of a paranormal.
That's going on right now.
Yeah.
Or you've had in your past.
It's going on right now. So if you're looking at a ghost right now, call us.
Put him on the phone.
Okay, put the ghost on the phone.
We'll give you a prize.
Now, here's what's interesting. So 34% of people who believe in ghosts, it's the same portion of people who believe in UFOs. So 34% of people believe in UFOs as well.
Because they're open-minded.
Well, I don't know if it's the same 34%.
Oh, okay.
It
probably is.
19% of people believe in the existence of spells or witchcraft.
I believe in that.
And some of that's cultural because, within, for example, Indian, Navajo, spells and witchcraft is part of the culture. So you grow up believing that sort of thing.
Right.
Now, 48% of people believe in ESP, that people do have ESP.
Mm-hmm.
But,
believe that.
But you know what? Nearly half of you knew that I was about to tell you that.
Exactly. Now, the one thing that makes me mental about psychics is, let's say you're going to have them on your radio show, and they ask you where your radio station is located. I don't tell them.
You don't tell them?
No, because they should figure it out.
So you just say if you're a psychic, just show up.
Just show up, and you should already know how the interview is going to go.
No, but the psychic has something to do with knowing addresses.
Well, they should know how. They should already see how well the interview is going to go and already foresee the whole thing.
Well, that's not what psychics do, really.
Yeah, that's what they
psychics do. They don't have GPS.
Well,
they have ESP. You get it confused. ESP is not GPS.
Okay, sorry.
So they still need the directions to get places.
Okay.
They'll just when they get there, they'll tell you.
But if they get here, then I'll interview them.
Right, if they could get here. That's the challenge of them. And, coming up, we actually have people who are ghost hunters. We have real ghost hunters that are coming on the show in a little bit. Now, Lisa.
Yes.
Now, your daughter claims that she saw a ghost, huh?
Yes, we were in Gettysburg, and we were going down the street. We were doing a ghost tour, actually. I did not see this. She looked across the street, and standing by one of the houses was a little boy, a little drummer boy.
And as far as she was concerned, it was just a kid with drums.
Yes, but she could see boots, like people standing behind him on the street, and just real quick, and he was gone.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really, and I saw nothing. Nobody else in the group saw it, but she swears up and down that she saw it.
How old was she at the time?
About 13.
And I wonder, I think one of the questions I'm going to ask the ghost hunter people, I wonder if children are more, because I know in the movies they try to convince us that children are more open to or vulnerable to seeing ghosts and stuff, but I wonder if there's any proof that that's true.
I think there probably is. I mean, I think kids just have an open mind about those things.
That makes perfect sense to me, I think. And so has she seen a ghost since, or that was her one experience?
No, that was her one experience, but she does come from, I saw a UFO when I was a kid, so.
Wow.
So we're real open to those kind of things.
So you do believe, so because you saw as a kid, you believe in UFOs?
No, I saw a UFO when I was a kid.
No, I know, I'm saying, so as a result, do you believe that they exist?
Oh, absolutely.
And does your daughter believe that ghosts exist?
Yes.
Interesting. I think that's really cool. I mean, I'm with you. I think, and that's the thing. Once you've seen something like that, it's hard for somebody to convince you it doesn't exist. You're like, well, I know what I saw. I believe my own eyes.
No. I saw it.
I saw it. You could tell you give me all the science you want, but I know what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, here's what's really interesting. 3 in 10 people have awakened in the middle of the night sensing a strange presence in the room. And single people are more likely than married people to say that they've sensed a strange presence in the room. And I got to tell you, it's happened to me quite a few times.
Yeah, some of those guys you brought home in college.
Yeah.
They were creeping out. At the
Sean
they,
Lee feels a strange presence.
Maybe that's
in
what
the
it
room
was.
every
They were
night.
on their way out the door. I heard the door close. And that's what woke me.
Right.
Or maybe they're on their way in. Who knows? I was drunk. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were
You
coming
actually
and
had a
going.
revolving door on your...
Pretty much I did.
Yeah.
But
And a number system.
Now serve me number 12.
Man, I'm at 24. I'm going to be here all day.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you very much for that. And I really thank you because my mother's listening tonight. She really appreciates that. Now, Ken, you've seen a ghost?
Most definitely.
Where were you?
Well, I've got some in my house. I've not actually seen the ones in the house, but I felt them.
Now, were they ghosts that you created with your gun?
No, these were Daddy. After I got to notice some things, Daddy told me that they were here.
Oh, really?
Can you shoot a ghost?
Well, no.
If you have that thing in Ghostbusters, you can.
Right.
Well, you can, but if you believe in that, yeah.
How about with the 30-06? Can those hurt ghosts?
Well, you can shoot at it, but it's just going to be wasting ammunition.
Oh, okay.
Go right through the wall.
And you don't like doing that?
No, I never want to waste it. Every shot has to count. But,
so now your dad told you that your daddy told you there were ghosts in your house, but have you ever seen them?
I've not, but my soon-to-be ex-wife has seen them.
Really?
It was in the hallway, and she still swears that now she didn't see it, that it wasn't there, it was something else. But at work one night up there on the side of the mountain up there where I go to load my truck, up there one, it was about 4:30 in the morning. I had to go out early that morning, and I was sitting there doing the paperwork because I'd come in that night. I was done. But I was doing the paperwork, getting ready to unhook from the trailer I was hooked to, and I saw it coming up the side of the trailer. I'm on the side of the mountain, and it was just as plain as day. It was like an old mountain man type guy in the skin and everything like that. I mean, the skin jacket with the little funny-looking hat on.
Oh, my gosh.
Looked like it might have been and he was as plain as day, and I watched him in the mirror coming up. And when he got to my side of my window, I watched him come all the way up to my side of my window and walk right past my window, and right past just past my mirror, there was light, because this was kind of in the dark there.
Uh-huh.
And when he got into the light, he disappeared. You know what scared me worse than anything? You know what scared me more than anything else?
Really?
It was the fact that it didn't scare me.
That didn't scare you?
Why. No, I don't know why. It just didn't.
Because you're Ken.
Well, no, but that's not it. I mean, seriously, I'd never actually seen anything like that before. I believe in them.
Did you get the sense that maybe he wasn't evil? He just was a passerby and not.
He was just on his way through.
Not a threat.
He never looked at me.
He was playing through.
Yes, probably a residual haunting.
Well, he was like an old hunter or something that was just going through the hills up there. And, there's good hunting up in there where we load the trucks at.
Wow.
And I've had deer come out beside the truck before, bear. But he just when he came down beside the trailer, I saw it in the mirror, and when I first looked, I said, "Who in the hell is out here this time of night?"
Right.
Dressed like that, yeah.
And I looked again and realized that I could see through it.
And then he just disappeared.
And he didn't disappear until he walked all the way up the side of my truck, up past the 56-foot trailer, past my tractor, and he come past the window where I'm on the driver's side.
You're freaking me out, Ken. You're freaking me out. I don't know if I can handle this. This is really because Ken's the type of guy that I would think, nah, that stuff's crap. But no, he saw it.
Yeah, if Ken saw it, then it's real.
Ken saw it, yeah, freaking me out.
Before this conversation, Chad, she did not believe in ghosts.
I know, she's been
By the end of this hour, she's going to believe in ghosts.
Well,
by the end of next hour, when we have our paranormal expert on,
she'll believe in everything.
Yeah, we'll see what they have to say.
Right. She'll be going finding Nessie.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think Ken does LSD. If I felt that he was someone who uses hallucinogenic drugs, I would say, I don't know about that, Ken.
Long time ago, maybe.
Okay, so it's Halloween. We're going to hear your ghost stories. 877-6-Cooper. Hey, Vicky.
Hi.
Now, have you ever seen a ghost, or just your daughter has?
Well, actually, I have twice, and people in my family tends to. I don't know, what the deal is, but right after my father had died, he was very close with my daughter, which was 5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He always wore a flannel shirt and a pair of jeans, and she was asleep one night, and she woke up, and she come into my room, and she was kind of upset, and I asked her what was wrong, and she said she dreamt she's seen that she was back at the gravesite, and Grandpa was asking her to walk down over the hill.
Wow.
And I said, oh, goosebumps. And after that, a friend of mine's brother had died of a massive heart attack, and I had dropped my oldest daughter off at the house across the street from my friends, and my other daughter, which was the one that was very closest to my father, seen a person kind of, she's, in her words, floating off the roof, floating, looking in her window.
That could have been a vampire.
That could have been.
Yeah, I saw Lost Boys.
Anthony.
What? It was in Lost Boys.
And how old was she at the time?
And to this day, she's a very sensitive person. She has a calming effect around her.
Now, how old was she when she saw the floating guy?
5, both times.
5, wow.
5.
Amazing.
Her 5th birthday, or her 6th birthday, I had a party with a bunch of little kids there, and they say that if there is a smoke or a film around a person in a picture, that it's supposedly a spirit. And all around every picture I had of her, it was just around her.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That totally freaked me out. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Vicky. That's some story. I'm glad you're playing that music, too. Now, Philip.
Yes?
Now, what kind of weird stuff did you see and do you think it was a ghost or a spirit, or what do you think you saw?
Actually, what I told Chad about was, the only way I could describe it was a phantom smell.
You smelled Chad.
My aunt had gone on vacation, and she asked me to just keep an eye on the house for her, because I don't live very far from her. The only person who's been in this house is me and my wife for a week. I walk into the kitchen, and part and lane just smells like a French horde just walked through the kitchen.
Really?
A stench of perfume. And I looked around. I couldn't find any perfumes or cleaning supplies or anything. I thought maybe they had one of those automatic spray air fresheners, maybe. Nothing. My wife got home from work. We went back up there 2 hours later. You could still smell it.
Wow.
So.
And then did it go away? Eventually, was it like a phantom smell that was there and then gone?
It eventually went away, but our house is on the same property, and I've been told that there's some stuff that's happened in my house. Right after that happened, we walked back down to our house, sat down in the living room. My wife looks at me and says, "Do you smell pine sol?" And that's one of those smells that you recognize as soon as you smell it. You
right.
Can't take it for anything else.
Right.
We don't have a drop of it in the house. All over the house.
You're being haunted by those trees on the windows.
Well, I thought
pine saw
maybe they're
trees.
cleaning
No, he's
up.
being haunted by clean ghosts.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, get the kitchen next.
Invite the ghosts over. The bathroom's dirty.
Exactly. I was thinking maybe I should leave a tip on the pillow or something. Maybe they'll start
Only
cleaning up a
for
little
the French whore ghost.
Right.
Only she'll know what to do with it. Thank you, Philip. That was really freaky.
News, it's like, how can we bottle that?
I know. See, that's the weird thing, because, I wondered about that, like the ghostly smells. Like, I wonder if there's a smell that comes with it, because I know we've heard people say that there are sounds,
Oh, yeah, there's definitely smells. Like, there's in a lot of, like, old bars, there'll be scent of flowers, or in different haunted places. The smell is definitely part of the experience.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Dara, of all of the different senses, when you experience a ghost, you actually heard one.
I heard one. I want to fuck your blind.
Dara's a vampire tonight.
Seriously, 15 months ago, I lived in an apartment building. One day I was talking to my next door neighbor. I said, what are you guys doing partying until 3 or 4 in the morning? I said, Dara, you didn't know? I was like, what? They said, this place is haunted. I said, it's what? And Cooper, I hold my hand to God. I was in my bed one night, and I felt something. You know how you'll take your knees and scoot your mattress over on your bed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt that one night. The next night it was stronger and stronger. And I sat straight up in bed, Cooper, and I seen this black figure come out the foot of my bed and stood there and turned around and looked at me. Then there was these two floating black whatever, and that ghost in my bedroom clashed with those two, and they just all flew apart.
No!
Cooper, I got up out of bed, and I peed the bed.
I would have also.
Yep, Cooper, I got up the next morning. I had this back scratcher hanging on the side of the wall in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where it was at when I got up and made my coffee the next morning?
Where was it?
It was on my kitchen counter. Yeah, Cooper, you wouldn't even believe. The window by my bed would crack like it was going to bust out of the frame.
Oh, my God! Dara's being haunted. Oh, man. Very
How are we
scary.
Make it all night.
I know, these are really interesting stories.
We're gonna do it.
Hey, Regan.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
We're good. Now, you have actually seen a ghost more than once?
I saw a recurring ghost for probably 5-6 years when I was a kid.
It was the same one?
It was the same ghost. At least as far as I could tell. It started when I was probably about 7 years old
Mm-hmm.
and went until I was probably 11 or 12.
So now, tell me about the first time you saw this ghost.
Well, it was oddly enough kind of after I got to the age to where I wasn't using a nightlight anymore. My parents always left the hallway light on for me and just kind of cracked the door. And I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a light on, which I thought was odd, whatever, and I got up and out in the hallway, and as I moved towards the door, the light moved away from me and as soon as I opened the door and got out into the hallway, there was someone, or an image of someone, a shape of a man standing in the hallway, but it was a pure white light that was lighting up the whole hallway.
Wow.
And on probably, I couldn't even tell you, probably 2 or 3 dozen different times the same thing happened. And it was always on the second level of my parents' house where the bedrooms were, and he would always lead me down this short hallway and start to go down the steps and then disappear.
And then in all those years, did you ever get further than the steps?
No, I would always get to the edge of the steps and the light would disappear.
Wow.
It was all, and I never told anyone about it in my family because it never scared me, which was odd. But it was, I didn't tell my brother, the only one I've told in my family was one of my brothers just a couple of years ago, just kind of an odd thing. Just because I had always kind of wondered, I had a brother that died when he was 2.
Uh-huh.
And that was before I was born.
So did you think that maybe this was the ghost of that brother? Like, did you try to figure out who it might be?
That's kind of what I had always thought, that it was maybe, the older brother that I never got to meet or whatever, but it was never a scary anything. It was always but it was always the same thing. It would always wake me up in the middle of the night, and it was always a very pure white light that would lead me down the hallway and then disappear.
And
but
then when
even
you finally
after,
when you finally told your brother, did he say he'd seen it too?
no, it was something he never saw, but he asked me a few questions about it and asked if I'd ever told our parents, and I told him that I never had, but it was kind of strange. But then even when I was older, when I was a teenager, still living in the same house, if I was ever home alone and upstairs, and there was a bathroom that was right next to the top of the stairs, if I would go to the bathroom and then walk towards the bathroom, and the basement or the family room or whatever was dark, I felt like someone was watching me from that room. So even when I was 15, 16 years old, I'd be home alone,
and you'd still
I
have
would
that
be
sense.
scared to go down to that room.
Wow. How come you never told your parents?
I don't know. It just because it wasn't when I was younger, it wasn't anything that scared me, and then by the time I was old enough, that's not something I was going to share with my mom or dad that I was scared when I was 15.
Because if it happens once when you're 7, you go, I ate a bad Twinkie.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it keeps happening, you're like, this is something. Wow, Regan, that's some story.
And you're afraid your parents are going to put you away.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
When you're older, you're like, by the way, and like, we suspected. Thank you, Regan. Thank you. Yeah. Now, Jan, have you seen a ghost?
I have, and I'm pretty perceptive to this, and I never really asked for it. It's very odd, but my father died in 1969 when he was 47 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And in the family home after he passed away, he was an electrician. We had strange electrical things that would happen that my whole family were electricians. Nobody could fix these things. It was always a shock. So there was an apartment above the house. I lived in the apartment, and for a while I lived there with a guy that was a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And we were laying in bed in the middle of the night, sound asleep, and all of a sudden I heard him yell, "No, no!" And he was shaking. The bed was shaking. I rolled over. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Lay still." And I looked up, and there is a apparition, like a black image. You couldn't tell if it was a person, but I wasn't scared. It was like a black vapor, and it slowly moved out of the bedroom into the living room, and it even cut the light off when it went into the living room, and then the light came back in from the street light outside.
Oh, my gosh.
I wasn't scared at all. He was terrified. And he said, "What was that?" He broke up with me after that.
Because you were like, well, it's my dad. He doesn't approve of me living with a guy.
I did. I said, it was just Dad, and, you just need to watch yourself. And he didn't think that was funny at all, but, I wasn't scared.
That's probably why you weren't scared, because you knew it wasn't evil or anything, and if anything, he was the one that would have, because if your dad was around, he would have been like, "Oh, you are not living with my daughter."
Well, yeah, and then in 2001, my mom passed away, and Mom and I joked around about this thing with Daddy and the electric.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was the one taking care of the house when she passed away. Nobody else had keys, and my sister called and said, "I've got somebody coming to look at the dining room table or the furniture. Go clean it up."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went and did a half-baked job, and my mom was one of those people that you did it right or you didn't do it at all, and she always used white vinegar for everything. Well, I used Resolve on the chairs. I just whipped through there, and I brought the lady in and showed her, and this lady said to me, "I feel really strange in somebody's house looking at their things." And I kind of smiled and said, "That's okay. Mom knows we need to sell the dining room." So the next morning, my sister calls and said, "You need to go to the house and measure something." I walk in the back door, and both the doors below the kitchen sink are wide open. There is a gallon of white vinegar laying on the floor on its side, and there is this bottle of scratch cover with the rag on top of it laying on its side.
Oh, my God!
And it's like there's no explanation for this whatsoever.
Well, the explanation is your mom was like,
exactly.
Hello?
People are thinking...
Resolve on my furniture? Do we not know each other?
Yeah, we're not going to get this sold. Why didn't you use the white vinegar? You didn't clean this, because I really did a half-baked job. So... No, things have happened to me for the last few years, and they just can't be explained. So, it's my mom and dad.
Wow.
They're
Which
here.
which makes perfect. I mean, I think that makes sense. I mean, I always think it's odd when people see ghosts of strangers. I think it's more likely that it's somebody who knows you, who's watching over you, who's still in your life and still caring for you. That makes sense to me.
I own a shop in here where I live. I own a decorating shop, and we always joke around because there's just something around there that it's strange. We have lighting things happen, but I had some ladies come in about 10 o'clock one morning, and we had rocker recliners upstairs, and they came flying down those steps, and the one lady said, "Have you just been upstairs?" And I said, "No, we just opened." And she goes, "Well, we have to go." And I said, "What's the matter?" She goes, "There's a chair up there rocking by itself." So I don't know if it's my energy that attracts this, but no, it's real. It's absolutely real.
Wow. That there's another way for you to make money. Have people come and pay to see the ghost chair.
They don't do that. They just stay away.
Wow. Thank you, Jan. That's some story. Oh, I'm so freaked out. Now, Donji, this wouldn't freak you out because you've seen a ghost too.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Now, that kind of story doesn't really freak you out because you can understand that experience.
Well, yeah, I can. I didn't actually see the ghost, but back in September, my boyfriend and I planned a trip out to Gettysburg, and we specifically picked this hotel that we stayed in because it was supposed to be haunted.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say the name of the hotel?
Yeah, please tell us because we want to know where to go.
It's the Gettysburg Hotel.
Okay.
And
known for being haunted.
What's that?
It's known for being haunted.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. My boyfriend did a lot of research on it, and that's just, if we were going to Gettysburg, that's the only place.
Right. We want to see ghosts. Yeah.
So our room was in the original part of the building, the old part of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell going from the new part into the old part, there was a decline in the floor. And it would creak when you walked across it, and it was only about a 10-foot area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking down this decline one day, and at the bottom of it, I dropped my key card. And I bent over to pick it up, and the floor kept creaking behind me, but no one was there.
Oh my! So is that? So you think you heard it? See, I've heard people say they can hear ghosts.
Yes. And then, pardon me. The next day, I was going outside, and I got on the elevator, and we were on the second floor.
Don't get on the elevator!
I hit the button for the first floor, and as soon as the elevator started to move, it started to shake really bad, like someone was jumping up and down in it.
Oh no!
And all of a sudden, the display went blank, and then the elevator stopped, and then the display showed that I was in the basement.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
I was stuck in that elevator for 3 minutes without the doors opening. And then finally, the elevator started to move again, and the display showed that I was on the first floor, but when the doors opened, I was back on the second floor.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So needless to say, I didn't take that elevator for the next 5 days.
I'll bet you didn't.
You think?
I can't believe that. So for 3 minutes, were you panicking? Were you scared?
Yes.
Did you scream? What happened?
I was asking for help, and the funny thing is that there's the phone right in front of me. It didn't even occur to me to use it. I was so freaked out.
Oh my god!
And they shut the elevator down for a day, and we asked, when it started working again, my boyfriend asked the maintenance man what was wrong with it. He said, we never found anything wrong with it.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was pretty scary. And then we also had an episode, we had to change in our key cards 3 different times because they wouldn't work. And they'd work for about a day, and then we would have to go and get new ones, and we were finally tired of it, so they sent the maintenance man up with us to look to see what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
We kept trying to use my key and then my boyfriend's key, and it wouldn't work. And then the maintenance man used his key, and the door opened right up.
So these ghosts saw you come and thought, let's screw with the tourists.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, Donji, that's something else. That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Wow, that's a great story.
Oh.
Now, Heather, when did you see a ghost? How about you? What happened to you?
Well, this is actually recapped from my mom. I was too young to actually remember any of this. When I was little, most kids have imaginary friends. It's not out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
My mom wholeheartedly believes that I saw a ghost as my imaginary friend because she said I had a Sesame Street playhouse that I was always in, and it was in our living room at the time. And she said she would come in, and I would just be talking away, and she'd be like, Heather, who are you talking to? And at the time, I was really, really young. So you wouldn't think, and I didn't know anybody by this name. I don't have a grandmother by this name. But I'd look at her and be like, oh, Grandma Olivia. And she'd just be like, oh, okay. And just walk away. She wholeheartedly believes that I just made friends with a ghost.
That your imaginary playmate was a ghost and not an imaginary.
Named Grandma Olivia. Yeah.
Heather, that's so cool. And it's and that name is so unique. So it's not like, oh, I'm playing with Marcy. Yeah, Grandma Olivia. Wow.
Yeah, and at that young of an age, I mean, I don't know exactly how old I was. I know I was young enough where I don't remember, and I think she told me when I was 10 about this and hasn't let it go since.
Wow, Heather,
she wholeheartedly believes that Grandma Olivia was a ghost that I could see and was my friend, and I just talked to all the time.
Wow. Thanks, Heather. Wow, that's scary. That's a really interesting story, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jane.
Yeah.
Now, you had a house that smelled like ghosts? What do ghosts smell like?
Yeah. Periodically, this started when we renovated this 100-plus-year-old house that we own, and we would get kind of odd smells, but thinking it was maybe, who knows, we're ripping out walls and all that. You never know what you might come across.
Sure.
But it's continued, and periodically we'll get like a waft of what smells like pipe smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. I don't know. My dad smoked a pipe when I was young, so it was sort of like, oh, I know that, know. But and also we get a not so pleasant body odor smell.
Oh,
every so often.
Sorry, that might have been me, Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you always think, okay, I'm home alone. Who do you
right.
that is?
Right, because you know it's not you. Oh, wow.
Yeah, you hope it isn't you, but yeah.
So what made you decide that these smells are ghost smells rather than a vent or coming in from something? Like, why'd your mind go to a ghost?
Well, there was one of my older sons told me, about a year ago that when he was little, he saw someone in the hallway when he got up to go use the bathroom at night. I said, well, what do you mean, someone in the hallway? He said, no, it was more like a thing or a black thing or moving in the hallway. And I thought, oh, I wonder if we have, we're living with other somethings in our house.
Yeah. Wow.
Or my husband has heard children's footsteps running in the hallway when our kids are sleeping.
Oh, wow. Jane, that's freaky.
It's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, it is kind of cool. If you're not scared of it, if it's not scary, it's kind of nice. It's like you're part of history almost, Great ghost stories, you guys. Those were awesome. I'm totally freaked out. Okay, don't play that again. Yeah, I can't with that red rum.